Now, Pierce O'Farrell was one of the lucky ones. He survived the shooting massacre. He was shot 3 times in the left arm and the left foot and was just released from the hospital hours ago. O'Farrell is out front with me tonight. I started by asking him about the package that Holmes sent to his professor and what was reportedly inside.
It confirms, obviously, everything that we kind of know, that this man was just disturbed, and that he had a lot of darkness in his heart. It's a shame that package never got opened. I guess that seems to be the report right now. And, it just, in my mind, it just makes it unfortunate that throughout all these years, I'm sure there's been warning signs. Maybe there was someone in his life at some point that could have seen something coming, but more than anything, it doesn't change a whole lot really for me at this point.
Well, that really does beg the question. I mean, do you think this incident could have been prevented?
I mean, gosh, that's just, I don't know. That's a tough question to answer. I would think someone that's been living with this much darkness in their life, I mean, I would like to think that maybe sometime down his path, maybe someone could have seen this and reached out to him and gotten him the help that he so desperately needed.
Well, as you just said, James Holmes will be formally charged on Monday. What do you think is a just punishment for this man?
I think that life in prison is a just punishment. I don't believe in the death penalty. And, honestly, I've said it before. I will pray for James Holmes, and I pray that he does get life in prison, and those 30, 40, 50 years that he's in prison, that I pray that the Lord can find him in some way and change his heart.
Now, police say that he had an AR-15 assault rifle, a shotgun, 2 Glock pistols when he went into the theater. We know he purchased 6,000 rounds of ammunition. And while you've been in the hospital, there's been a whole conversation about what could have been done, whether this is an appropriate time to start talking about whether there's certain reasonable restrictions that could have been put in place, may have made it more difficult for him to get his hands on these weapons. What do you think of that conversation about gun control? Is this the right time, or is this too soon?
No, I think it's a little premature to get into that conversation about gun control. I think, it was less than a week ago, and I think right now we need to have our time of mourning, and I think more than anything, the conversation has to be about how do we help the families and the loved ones of every victim in there, and not just myself, but more importantly, the families of those victims that lost their lives. I mean, my heart just goes out to them, and I think that it's way too early to even start having that conversation about gun control.
What do you want to say to Holmes?
I want John to know that I forgive him, but more than anything, I pray that he can find some regret and that he can find that place in his heart where it's time for him to regret and to ask for forgiveness from the victims of all this terrible tragedy.
That sense of forgiveness is an inspirational act of grace for us all. What are your plans now that you're out of the hospital? What's next for you?
Just recovery. I need to definitely focus on just recovering. I'm pretty tired. It's been such a long road this past week that I'm looking forward to just kind of, just laying around for a little while recovering. But the recovery just lasts a couple days, because on Sunday we're going to have a special service at my church. And I will be up there with my pastor, and we'll be talking about this and really just talking about forgiveness and ways to reach out, and more than anything, just talking about the grace and love of Jesus and how he is just how he's been working to shine his light throughout all this horrible tragedy.
Well, Pierce, our thoughts and our prayers will continue to be with you throughout your recovery. Thank you for coming out front.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. God bless you.